Good evening, everybody. We are just getting started right now on the HHN Squad podcast. I will do my opening intro, and everybody else will be showing up within the next few minutes. So we're just going to go ahead and leave you all just waiting for a few more minutes. We're waiting for Jose from Thrill Seeker Network and Clarence from, I keep messing up his name, from Nub, something like that, and I'll introduce him later on. So just hold on tight for 1 second, and we'll be right back in about 5 minutes. All right, looks like we have Jose on here, and we're going to go ahead and start, and Clarence will be showing up in just a little bit, so hold on. All right. Welcome to the HHN Squad's Updating the Fear podcast, episode 3, your number one place to find all things Halloween Horror Nights. And this is created by fans for fans. We will include topics surrounding Horror Nights and answer some of your Twitter questions. We are coming to you live on Sunday, July 10th at 8 o'clock. I would like to start off by introducing our amazing panel this evening. So we have HHN Meatloaf.
Hey, I'm HHN Meatloaf of the HHN Squad. Happy to be here. Happy to get into topics.
We have Jose from Thrill Seeker Network.
Happy to be back here for yet another Updating the Fear podcast, ready to talk some Halloween Horror Nights and stuff, so let's do this.
Yep, and I am Casey from the PMV Productions, and I'm also very excited to get into the updates. We got a lot of updates in this past week, so let's get right into it. So we have our first topic for this evening. We have Metro sets, and there is some information going around, but right now it's just speculation and rumors. For the first topic, we have our third maze construction beginning within the last few days. Today I went to Universal and I got some footage of that third maze beginning to being built, and it's being built right now, and there's a few doors and everything, so let's talk about that. Right now I'm going to go back to the video and review it, and while you guys are while I'm looking through the video, maybe you guys could talk about the possibility of what those mazes could be.
Alright, so far in the backlog, we have construction that has started in the first Metro Sets area, which is where Crimson Peak was last year, which everybody saw the facade at this point, and everybody thinks it's Krampus since it's pretty much given away. And we also have confirmed outside of Soundstage 747, where Murdy said we lost the actual soundstage, so he's building the maze in front of it. And just recently, construction popped up where the From Dusk Till Dawn maze was a few years ago. So that's going to be another location that's going to be coming back, so that we won't be losing location, since we also lost the Soundstage 28 area, which is where Walking Dead was last year, and rumored that we also lost the Parisian Courtyard. So in my opinion, since Murdy stated that the next maze that will be announced is Doris Day, I know personally myself, I connected Doris Day to be Krampus, and a lot of people also connected Doris Day to be Krampus. But I believe that Doris Day is actually the maze that is being built in the From Dusk Till Dawn venue now. Considering what he said on his tweet, he said that it was actually going to be a surprise. And so I was doing some research before we actually got on the podcast, and I found a song that Doris Day sings that actually connects to a property that has been rumored to come to the event this year that could be quite of a surprise, and it would be fitting in that certain venue. and the song is called Whatever It Will Be. It's in Spanish. It's called Que Sera, and it's actually one of the songs from American Horror Story. So that's a connection that could lead to American Horror Story possibly being Doris Day, the maze that is being built in the From Dusk Till Dawn area.
Oh, whoa. I didn't even think about. Well, yeah, that would be pretty weird. You have any thoughts on that, Gus?
No, I think that really good connections. It makes a lot of sense.
I don't know. If he's saying it's a surprise, then like I don't know, because he's fooled us once with Krampus. I don't know how many times he's gonna do it.
If he said it's a surprise, I'd honestly be shocked if he says it's Krampus, considering he said it's a surprise. And really, everybody knows Krampus is coming to the event. Everybody saw the facade. Everybody's just expecting the next announcement to be Krampus. So it wouldn't really be much of a surprise if it was Krampus, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't. But he said it. He also said in the tweet. Let me read a quote from the tweet. Let me get it right now. I have it right here. Okay. He said that I will give you a hint as to what's next. It will be a maze codenamed Doris Day and ... maybe a shocking surprise to go with it. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the surprise is the announcement. I mean, it could just be a surprise to go along with it. I don't know what that could be. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that.
The possibilities are really endless at this point. It's like we have kind of like a good sense of what we think the lineup is going to be, but you know, it could really go anywhere from this point. It's just we have to wait and see what he announces.
Yeah, it's just kind of at the point of like what's going to be announced next, not really what is the maze. I mean, especially for like updaters that are really involved in all of this.
Because it would make sense to announce Krampus next, which is the reason he announced Halloween so early, because people were looking at the facade and stuff, and people were guessing what the property is. So it would be smart to announce Krampus, considering everybody's already seen the facade.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. Or he's just leaving it until last because everybody already knows it's coming.
Yeah, or
Guess we'll
that.
just have to find out.
He's just getting the surprising ones out of the way.
Either way, it's going to be interesting with all these different venues this year. And having that From Dusk Till Dawn venue back is actually pretty nice, actually, that we have 3 mazes in the backlot again this year.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when they announced that everything was going to the backlot, and I was so excited because I thought it would grow in the backlot, and I hope throughout the years it does grow through the backlot and we start getting more back there because there's so much space that we could use in creative opportunities. So yeah.
Well, on this subject about the location here in the From Dusk Till Dawn area, this was brought up in yesterday's podcast also that considering that we have this location back, which is really where the trams pick you up every time you go to the backlot, this possibly means that we will have to walk to the backlot again, like we did a few years ago. So, so honestly, like I would be fine with that as long as they have like scare actors along the way, like they did towards the end of the run when we had to walk all the way over there. So, what do you guys think? Possibility to do trams and like a different location and stuff?
I don't know. I'm fine with walking because obviously walking is not something new to theme parks or haunt events. But I hope they theme it somehow.
Personally, I prefer like the walking tunnels, like the one year that we had The Walking Dead, where the episode had them all the walkers trapped in the cave. I thought that was like really ingenious to like do. And then when they did add the trams, it got super crowded and the lines were really slow. And I just thought that the tunnel really added to the facade and everything. So I personally prefer walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm honestly fine with it as long as like I said, if they had some characters along the walk, I'm honestly fine with that. But if it's just plain walking like it was in the first couple of weeks, it honestly does get like a pretty boring walk. But as long as they add some characters, I really don't mind the walk. And hopefully, like if they actually do the walk again this year and they make it kind of like this long scare zone and they get people on board on this and not a lot of people complain about it and stuff, maybe that leads to more expandment in the backlot and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, Murdy did talk about how he's going to do these scare zones all different this year. And I was also in Universal today looking at the line for Walking Dead, and it's going down that entire street. And I'm just thinking about the line for The Walking Dead during Universal, and I feel like that could connect to it. I feel like he, for scare zones, might put them all in, I mean, maybe starting from lower lot down to Metro. Like, I don't know. I still don't exactly know what he's going to be doing with this huge change he's doing with scare zones, but looking at that Walking Dead line just going down that street, I just don't have any idea how they could do much of a scare zone, considering like there would just be people in line watching people getting scared, and there wouldn't be much room for people to walk around in that. I don't know if that's Baker Street or I don't know which one it is.
Baker Street, right?
Baker
The one
Street.
that's towards the Walking Dead building, right? And yeah, the one on the other side towards Animal Actors, that's London Street.
Yep.
Yeah, but like honestly, like what I think he's gonna do, which is the real reason he got rid of the Parisian Courtyard, is that I think he's gonna add the extended queue for The Walking Dead over in the Universal Plaza where the queue for the Parisian Courtyard mazes were,
Yep.
which is why I think he's getting rid of the Parisian Courtyard maze since there wouldn't really be any room to add a queue for the actual maze. So honestly, I think they're fine with just keeping the scare zones, with just like one in London Street, one in Baker Street, and then you have your main scare zone going through the entrance and stuff. So I don't think there'd be much of a change regarding that, just as long as like I said, they move the line to the Parisian Courtyard for The Walking Dead and stuff.
Yeah, I've also thought about, like, while we're on this topic, I mean, even though this wasn't planned, I do feel like we should discuss the plaza, because I was looking at it today, and it's, like, the last time I was here, they had just opened. I mean, the last few times I was here, the plaza was still kind of new. And I'm just looking at it, and I look how they use it for Grinchmas, and I wonder why they don't use it for Horror Nights. I feel like that's such a good maze location. I don't know.
Well, like the real reason I think they don't utilize it is since it's such a big area in the park and stuff. And like construction really starts throughout the summer. It would feel really crowded if they just like closed off that entire area, and that means you would have to go all the way around through Baker Street and London Street to be able to go around. You couldn't just cut through the middle and stuff. So I feel like they feel like it would be pretty pesky to just have it sitting there for a really long time, and then they would close it down again right after Horror Nights with Grinchmas and stuff.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about summer crowds. All right, so we have Clarence from. Can you please say your YouTube channel name one more? Nubnuts. Thank you. We have Clarence from Nubnuts that just joined us, and yeah, this is going to be interesting. So right now, Clarence, we're talking about Metro sets and everything. So we have already talked about the. Oh, let me go through the video.
Wait. What are we talking about? I just got back. Sorry.
We're talking about Metro sets and everything, and we already talked about our predictions for some things, and now I'm going to go through the video, and feel free to check it out as well, all of you guys, so if you want to add on anything. But from what I saw today, it's basically just doors, like a whole bunch of it looks like emergency exits, but I don't know. And then there's, if you're looking at it facing, how do I word this? If you're looking at it facing the big fake metal wall that they have there, they're starting closest to the tram and they're building towards the wall. So they're just getting a whole bunch of like set pieces that need to be there to keep the rest of it up, and then they're building forward. So I guess these are just like, I mean, I don't know why they're starting with these walls. It's kind of abstract. Like, they're all over the place, and you can't really sense a pattern. But all I can think of is, like, possibly the panels that keep up most of a section of the haunt. I don't know. And then there's a lot of exits. I mean, I don't know if you guys have anything to add to that on the video, but
I think it's
Looks
just the
nice.
construction starting. It would eventually like get more in depth and stuff, but I think it just started and they're just basically barely starting to put some stuff up there.
Would you guys have any predictions of what this one could be? Since we have guesses for the 3 mazes in the backlot, just like what this one particularly could be, since Krampus is most likely in the...
Wait. Which area in the back lot?
It's the one right behind the big metal wall where Dusk Till Dawn was.
Oh, maybe it's American Horror Story?
Wouldn't that one be in front of the, what is it, the soundstage?
Yeah, true, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of hard to predict right now.
I couldn't see anything over there.
I'm gonna stick with saying like you guys said, Krampus is the one where Crimson Peak was. And in front of Soundstage 747, I just have this feeling that if we get Freddy vs. Jason, it's gonna go there. And so I'm just gonna stick with saying that the maze by where From Dusk Till Dawn was is gonna be American Horror Story.
See? I don't know.
Personally, I believe that. Hold on, sorry.
So, Jose?
Alright, I'm back. Never mind, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so personally, I believe that Krampus is probably going to be where Crimson Peak was. I think that it's kind of abstract, and I still don't kind of believe it. But now there's a lot of things that are proving to be American Horror Story. So I mean, even though it seems impossible to me, American Horror Story right outside Soundstage 47, and for the From Dusk Till Dawn area for probably Freddy vs. Jason. And Gus is pretty much the only one who hasn't made his.
I said that I don't really. It's hard to predict. Like
Yeah.
Krampus is where Crimson Peak was, and I'm pretty sure that'll just be Krampus. It's pretty obvious by now with the facade. So yeah.
Just say it, Gus. Just guess it.
I mean, if it's not Krampus, I'm gonna be like.
American Horror Story. I don't know.
If it's not Krampus, I think all of us are just gonna be blindsided, and I don't see how it couldn't be.
Also, I wanted to ask you, since you were at the park today, did you see any construction start on over by Waterworld?
I didn't walk over in that area actually, which is kind of sucks. But I'm going to walk. I'm gonna be there throughout this week. I don't know if I'm gonna be there tomorrow or Tuesday, but whatever day I do go, I will check it out. I will say that I don't know what those rumors were about any of the sound stages having mazes in them, but there's nothing going on in the sound stages. Everything is going, all of the mazes, basically the predicted maze locations right now, and from what I have seen and where the tents have gone up, are Mummy, Walking Dead, which is already there, the 3 in the back lot, and then the one in Waterworld, which brings the new mazes up to 5. I feel like that's
6, including Jurassic.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Jurassic Park. Yeah. So yeah, there are 6 mazes, but not including The Walking Dead. And I saw panels going up. They're setting out panels for more Exorcist stuff. Apparently, Apparently, they're not finished with panels inside the tent. I mean, it looks like they are, but there were a lot of wall panels sitting outside the tent, so I don't know if those are like extra or what if they're adding more. But they have. I don't know if this is from previous maze things, but I saw at the end of the Exorcist one that there was some paint starting to go up. Again, that could be from previous maze walls, but it looked like it was new red paint at the end of the maze exit. And then the facade is starting to get its shape.
So to see the facade over by where the this is the end started last year, or is it going back
Yes,
to the
the
that
facade.
way?
Yeah, the facade. It's not what I thought it would be. Like, I mean, it's not like where how they are positioning it. It looks like they're doing the facade from the front of the house for Exorcist, and that's pretty obvious that they would be doing that. But instead of moving the house like to where, uh, okay, I thought in my mind that there was going to be a big wall with the windows facing Transformers, facing the entrance of Transformers. But actually, it's the opposite way around, and it's indented in, and the wall, the big front panel, like the big front panel where the door is in the Exorcist house, is facing forwards out to where the tram goes by, and the other wall is up against the soundstage, the Mummy soundstage. So, but it's obviously the front of the Exorcist right now, the front of the Exorcist house. And then there's like windows that are starting to show up, and that's about it. And then at the exit, you can't really like do too much predicting on the exit because like it's usually small, cramped, and then it's an exit out to the end. So I don't really know what's happening at the end, but it seems like it doesn't seem too big. And that's all I have to say about Exorcist. Any comments on
Well,
that? Any
it
questions?
sounds alright. I mean, like I wasn't really expecting anything big with The Exorcist from what it sounds like. He's gonna be doing it like we said before in a very like theatrical manner and stuff. So I think it's just gonna be kind of like more close up and personal rather than using like big set pieces and stuff. That's pretty interesting. The stuff on the facade and stuff.
Yeah. And it does seem pretty cramped, and it's probably gonna be that artistic maze of the year, like the one that's artistic, maybe not the most exciting, but like I don't know what he's gonna be doing and everything. He seems like he's gonna be doing something intense, but it seems like it's gonna be the artistic maze of the year. All right, so our next topic, if anybody doesn't have any more questions on construction, if you guys have questions, go ahead and ask them, but otherwise I'm gonna move on to the next topic. Any more questions? All right, guess not. Okay, so next topic is Jurassic Park queue. There's not much we have to discuss on it, but we're just going to talk about Halloween 2, how it was announced since our last podcast. And would anybody like to start on that? I think I've talked enough.
Well, the Boogeyman is still out there, and Michael Myers is coming back to the event this year in a sequel house from based on Halloween 2, which was just recently announced. And this sounds like it's going to be based off the second film, where it takes place in the majority in the Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, which is quite different from our previous Halloween mazes, which have both been based on the original film. So this is actually not exactly a repeat. It's kind of like a new maze and stuff. So what I'm excited about is to see how Murdy actually does it to make you feel like you're in the hospital in the movie. It's like the hospital in the movie feels like really lonely and like just kind of like overall very creepy and stuff. It's gonna be kind of interesting to see how it makes you feel like you're in the hospital inside the Jurassic Park queue, which is one of my favorite venues since it's just the right length and stuff. And so, since we previously said that there was a lot of room and like backstage when we were first looking at this and we thought this was Krampus, there was like room for puppetry and stuff. This leaves me wondering if there's going to be room for kind of like a really big finale in the house, which is what I'm expecting with all that big backstage space that they built in for this maze, which we originally thought was spots for like puppets and stuff.
Yeah. And I don't know what those could be used for, but then again, like I don't really know too much about the movie itself, so which I'm going to watch. I feel like I'm not that outsider like Alvin that hasn't seen Exorcist, but whatever.
Anybody have any particular scenes that they really want to see? Like, do you know any scenes
Hot tub. Hot tub.
Everyone's saying the hot tub, and
Yeah.
Murray said he's going to do the hot tub, but he's not going to do the before part. He's going to do the after part.
Yeah.
Damn it. Damn it.
I'd like to see that and the syringe scene, I guess. Those are both pretty iconic. Hot tub isn't fairly iconic, but I also like the syringe.
I don't know. I kind of want to see the ending of the movie. You know, the explosion.
That would be a good finale. I just don't know how they would do it exactly, but I'd really like to see it done.
I'll figure it out.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, that they're gonna do like that big finale and stuff. Like I was saying with that whole extra like backstage area room, they might find a way to do that big finale and stuff. And then in the press release that Universal sent out, they actually made it sound like we're gonna get a pretty big finale for the maze. So maybe it will be something like that and stuff. So who knows?
Yeah, and especially with their new effects for Walking Dead, I do think that they could definitely do that finale, which I've seen because of clips.
Yeah, if they wanted to, they can probably find a way to pull it off. It's just a matter of how it would look overall and how they plan to execute this, which is really the major thing about this maze. It's all about execution. Like we've seen Michael Myers at the event before, it's just how Murdy's gonna make it feel kind of different and stuff, so it doesn't exactly feel like a repeat and stuff. So maybe adding some more big special effects like this, like we're talking about, could make it feel like a very different maze and stuff. So, but who really knows? It's a good movie to base a house off of. Like the hospital has a lot of like different sets and stuff they can recreate. So overall, I think it's going to be a pretty good maze. I'm not overly excited for it, but I'm not really angry that it's back or anything. I'm just happy that it's back, I guess.
I'm surprised people are angry about this. Like, this is a house that I was really anticipating once the rumors started coming out. Personally, I love the Halloween franchise. The first one is obviously my favorite. But, I mean, it's just like, I like seeing that character at the event, and I don't know why there's so much hate on it. It's not a repeat. It's a new house, but whatever.
I mean, like, people are getting mad just specifically over the character since we've seen him at the event for 3 years and stuff. But like I said, honestly, I don't really mind it. It's like I would rather have Michael Myers be back at the event than for us to get like another Walking Dead maze or another 3D maze and stuff. So he is honestly like a very big, iconic character that everybody knows. And if the rumors are true, we're gonna have the biggest horror icons in the horror genre at the event. And just having Michael Myers there, which is probably one of the most iconic characters in the horror genre, it's gonna make for a very good event. So like I said, I'm not angry about this. I'm just happy he's back.
Yeah, there's a lot of good icons. Like, this is the icon year. Like, 2009, I guess you could say. Yeah.
2009, 2010.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited for it. I don't care. It's Halloween 2. We have never had that. We always had Halloween 1 as a maze. This is actually exciting for me. Like, I like Michael Myers. He's iconic.
Yeah.
Man, 6'5" and has steps like a ninja.
Okay, look, it's like too much Walking Dead, too much 3D mazes, right? So, I mean, this is exciting. And plus, if you saw that dude in real life, it would be pretty terrifying. Like, walkers are terrifying, yeah, but, I mean, imagine that thing.
It's like people have been asking for more like horror icons to be at the event and stuff, so I really don't see them why they're really complaining about this. Like I would honestly kind of feel kind of like cheated out and like kind of disappointed if it was Halloween 1 again, but it's the sequel, so I don't really see why people are really getting all that angry over this and stuff.
We don't. Also, it's a hospital maze, so that makes it even cooler. I think a hospital maze is nice.
Something that we don't really see very much, so. I mean, besides Walking Dead, but. For the few seconds that you're actually in a hospital in The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
wait,
true.
excuse me, spoilers, Clarence. Sorry, excuse me.
Oh, no, it's fine. I mean, we all know that. Dude, the freaking opening queue line is... Never mind.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
But, what was it? Yeah, so, like, all icons, it would be nice. Like, Like, you guys could get mad about it. I mean, if we get all the icons, it's pretty cool.
How many? Yeah. All right, like cut off someone in mid-sentence there. Anybody? Okay, we've already talked about what we want to see in the maze. And I don't know if you want to give us a sneak peek, Jose, but I know you released a video today about the facts and info on the Halloween maze. I don't know if you would like to talk about that at all, or just give a quick sneak peek about it and just give off some facts.
Alright, so from what I've heard so far is that from what we've seen from the construction, the maze will definitely be starting in the Doyle house, which is where Halloween 2 starts off, and we might even see Michael Myers' corpse right outside the maze, like you do in the film, where he like jumps out the window and stuff. So that's where the maze is going to be starting off. You're going to be walking into some of the different like houses from Haddonfield and stuff, and Michael Myers is going to be after you and stuff. It's going to be kind of like in the beginning of Halloween 2, where they find out that he's still alive, and then Loomis is out there trying to search for him, and he eventually reaches the hospital where Laurie Strode is at. So that's basically how the maze is going to run down. You're going to start off in like the Doyle house, like I said. You're going to walk in through some of the neighborhoods of like Haddonfield and stuff, and you're eventually going to find yourself inside the Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, where they're going to recreate some of the most famous scenes from the movie and stuff. And that's pretty much how the maze is going to run down.
I think they're going to. I think they're gonna do like maybe the imprint of him sitting on the grass, like just his body outlined maybe on the grass, since it like shows people in the line that he's really still out there, and they paid money to actually see someone scare them, something like that. I don't know.
If you remember an American Werewolf in London at the JPQ, how it was like an outdoor environment, and David the Werewolf was, oh no, it wasn't David, sorry, the original werewolf was eating Jack. That was kind of like an outdoor landscape. I think that would work really well with the first scene, but the imprint is replaced by the werewolf, so yeah.
Personally, what I think would be really cool if they could like do this in the maze is that while you're waiting in line, since I know they've done this before with several other mazes here, like in cities and stuff, where they have the ghost hunters outside, and they've had like some scare actor playing Dr. Loomis outside, just like telling you he's back and stuff, and how he shot him 6 times. That could be something that could play really well into the maze and stuff.
I think that might be the secret password for something too, if you give it to Loomis.
Oh,
That could
yeah.
work and stuff. Yeah, that could definitely work. Really wanted to do the secret password maze with Halloween.
Yeah, and usually it's the one with, I mean, the ones with the actors outside of it, and I don't, maybe I just missed it, but there weren't any actors outside of any mazes last year, were there?
No.
Except for Walking Dead.
No, they were
This was
doing the
on.
thing for This Is the End, but you had to find like the Scare Patrol people, which
Yeah,
were like
yeah.
the guys in the orange shirts, and they were really all over the place. Like we got the card from them twice, and one time they were in the back lot, and then the other time they were by the Halloween maze. So it was just like last year was just basically a matter of finding them. But like it's honestly much easier to find these guys and like actually get the thing if you have like characters playing a character outside the maze and stuff and handing you out stuff. And it honestly feels very much like much more cooler to have the character do it than just have some random dude just give you something for giving him a password and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, those are all my thoughts on Halloween 2. It sounds great, and I'm excited to go through it. Anybody else?
Hopefully it lives up to the venue, like we said in the like one of our previous podcasts, that the Jurassic Park venue is one of the venues that has housed some of the best mazes we have ever seen at the event. So maybe this one could be a surprise and could be a really like a big hit for this year. So we're just gonna have to wait and see again.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really think of anything bad that's come to Jurassic Park. I don't know. I mean, I know you don't like the Texas Chainsaw that they had, but like, I kind of liked it. So, all right. So I think that's it for our topics for today. Our next kind of topic, but more section, is questions, listener questions. So we have questions on. Go ahead right now. We're going to answer some Twitter questions, and then while we're answering those Twitter questions, I would like you guys to ask your questions on YouTube and in the comments right now. So go ahead and ask your questions, and one of you guys check out those questions and picks them out. Right now, we're going to start with our first question coming from... This is coming from Jojo at Coaster_Cruiser. The question is Doris Day Krampus? And we kind of talked about this earlier in the episode, but I'll leave that up to Jose because I'm not into the code names at all.
I originally thought yes, Doris Day was Krampus, and there is a connection and stuff with like Doris Day doing a lot of like Christmas music and stuff. I'm not sure if any of her songs are actually in Krampus since I really haven't seen the movie, but it was kind of like a really vague connection. But like I said, I just recently found this connection from Doris Day that she did a song for American Horror Story, which is amazing. That would really be shocking, like Murdy said on his tweet. So personally, as of recently, I don't think Doris Day is Krampus, but on the other hand, think that Doris Day is going to be American Horror Story.
All right. That works. Anybody else on that? Do you have any? I don't know if any of you other guys work on like code names, but I don't. So, anybody else? No. All right. Okay. Next question is from Jojo as well at Coaster_Cruiser. Is Freddy vs. Jason coming to Halloween Horror Nights?
That we still don't really know. I think it's definitely a possibility, like up there with American Horror Story, but
I would say probably, but it's not as like we don't have as much information about that as we do about Krampus and everything else, but probably considering its history with Orlando.
At this point in time, I'm going to say I'm 90% sure Freddy vs. Jason is coming to the event. And like I've said previously, I believe that this is going to be the maze that's going to be announced live on stage at Scarlet. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get Freddy vs. Jason at the event. Since we look at some of the patterns that we've been like doing with like Orlando's mazes, like they do a big hit over there and then we get it over here and stuff. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be coming to the event this year.
All right. Okay. And anybody else? Clarence, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's coming. I think there's a 90% chance as well. It was so big in Orlando that we're most likely going to have it.
All right. Yep, awesome. Okay, next question. I don't know if we really want to answer this next one in depth on this podcast, but we definitely could answer it on another podcast. But this one comes from Haunt Justin or Justine12. Still don't know how to pronounce it. At Justine or Justin Schwogel on Twitter. What is your opinion on other theme park haunts other than HHN? So, for example, Knott's, Queen Mary, Six Flags, stuff like that. So I guess we could give our brief explanation, and then we could save the rest of it for another podcast that we have in the works.
Alright, I guess I'll go first. So, like, Horror Nights, everybody loves it, everybody knows it. Aside from that, I've been to Knott's Scary Farm. I went for the first time last year, and I was honestly blown away by some of the sets and stuff, but their scares were really, really lazy, and I feel like they cast some people that really shouldn't be scare actors and stuff. I saw a lot of, like, scare actors sitting around and stuff, not really doing their job, so to say, and, like, the costumes are also really, really bad. So, honestly, like, Knott's is really kind of, like, a step down from Horror Nights and stuff. And I know a lot of people compare the two, but honestly, the Horror Nights always wins between the two. And then you have Fright Fest over at Six Flags, which I've only been to twice. Like the first time I went was almost like 6, 7 years ago, and I told myself I was never gonna go back because it was really, really bad. The sets were bad, the scares were bad. But I went again last year after having worked there and auditioned for Fright Fest and stuff. I went last year, and I was honestly kind of surprised. Like their sets really improved, their scares are really, really good, and the costumes are really, really good. And then aside from that, I haven't really been to any other theme park haunts. Like I haven't been to Queen Mary and stuff. That's what I think of like all the other haunts and stuff.
From the I've never been to the other haunts, and from the POVs I've seen and the research I've done about them, it's just like they kind of go down in descending order for me. I mean, I know I couldn't ever get up to the par that Knott's does, but in my own haunt. But I personally just it's definitely a step down from Universal. It's not as exciting. It's not as immersive. It's and I mean the excuse me one second. All
I
right.
don't know if
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can go. Sorry.
All right. Quick thought I want to get out about Knott's, because that's the only one I've really researched as much as Horror Nights. Knott's is not very equally matched. When you go to Horror Nights, you know what to expect. You know you can expect a pretty good maze, even though you may not appreciate all of them, like This Is the End or Clowns or whatever. Like, they're all well built and they're all really immersive, good quality built haunts. With Knott's having different creators doing different mazes and just everything, like, you're not really sure what to expect when there's a paranormal maze that's really, really good and immersive and really good looking, and then there's other things like Uncle Bobo's crap joke like toilet humor, whatever it was. Like, I don't know, you really can't, you don't know what to expect with Knott's.
Knott's was the original thing that got me into horror attractions and stuff. Like, they've been doing it since the 70s and are one of the original attractions, so I really respect them for that. Recently they haven't been doing as well, but this year, or last year, sorry, I thought they did really well getting the license to the one TV show that I forgot the name. I'm sorry. That was incredibly good and well done. It had a lot of different interacting things. I don't know how to say it. It was really good if you went through it. That's what I have to say about Nas. I've always liked it and I still like it. I cannot stand the zombie shooting though, because all of the guns are broken. All of the actors are terrible and will continue to attack you even after you had supposedly killed them. So I'd like them to get rid of that and just add another attraction that you don't have to wait 2 hours for and then get a 5-minute broken gun game out of it. I've never gone to Queen Mary, and Six Flags I've gone to and do not care for it at all. I find it all very lazy, to the point where they had a maze where it's an entire black room. You hold onto a rope and get pulled through it. And yeah.
I would agree with most of that. Clarence, you have any thoughts on the other haunts?
On the other haunt I went to was Knott's Castle Dark, Halloween Horror Nights. I've been going to Halloween Horror Nights since 2010. Last year is my first time at Knott's. I don't like Knott's that much. It never scared me. I didn't really care for the sets. I don't know. It just didn't impress me as much. But what I did like was the wait times were always short for me. The wait times would always be 5 minutes, usually, except for Paranormal Inc. That one was always long. Go up to 30 minutes to 40.
Because it was 50.
Good. Yeah, that was the
that
one
was
I
the
enjoyed.
one I was talking about, sorry.
But I mean, the rest just didn't impress me. I don't know why. Maybe because I've been going to Horror Nights and I've been seeing that same kind of art put into the mazes, and when I went into Knott's for the first time, it just didn't impress me in anything.
Yeah. Dang, we have a lot of questions. All right, I think we're going to have to pick and choose our questions here. I don't think we're going to be able to get through all of them tonight. But our next question is, let's get through these Twitter ones and then we'll go to YouTube. Next one is from HHN, at HHN Dog, also known as Will Smith, apparently. And this is, will John Murdy appear in a house this year in Hollywood? And, I mean, I guess we've all connected it to, I mean, Jose talked about him possibly being in Halloween, so I don't know, maybe. Anybody?
I hope.
Well, I know he said he's gonna bring the wig he used for his El Cucuy cameo back, and that he did confirm that he was making a cameo in one of the mazes. I honestly I think he is gonna be in Halloween too. He's gonna be playing like a doctor of some sorts, or maybe, but he is gonna be in a maze for sure. But it's just about figuring out which one.
The wig really matches. Oh wait, The Exorcist. The mother from oh wait, well the wig kind of matches her, but I don't know how you would show that, like unless it was just like a picture hanging on the wall, because there aren't any really prominent TVs in the movie. But whatever. Anybody else on John Murdy cameos? No? All right. Okay, next question is... Oh, that's a question. Where's that? Okay. Next question is... Ooh, boy. At Rigby_94. And this is, when do you think he will announce the next maze? I'm going to let someone else start on that one.
I would say take this with a grain of salt, but possibly next week. It's not 100% confirmed, but I just have this feeling. And since he's been tweeting a lot lately, he said that the announcement will come much more prominently once July 4th and the Walking Dead attraction got out of his way. So I can possibly say we can see an announcement. Well, actually, this week that's coming up, we might be seeing an announcement, if not next week. But definitely between these 2 weeks, we're going to be getting an announcement of some sort.
All right. Yep. Anybody else? Nope. All right. You guys are awfully quiet. Okay, so this is... Oh, and the question that follows this is, what do you think it is? Like, what do you think he will announce next? And I don't know if we've already answered that, but I think we all said Krampus, probably. Or,
it has to be.
Or the... What is it?
American Horror Story.
Yeah.
Yeah, since he's basically confirmed at this point that the next maze he's announcing is Doris Day. So it's either Krampus or American Horror Story.
All right. That makes sense. Okay, and another question from at Rigby_94 is, do you think we will see a Conjuring maze this year? And now this one is something that surprised me, because it was so heavily rumored for the past few months. But then when we got Halloween 2 announced, all the Conjuring rumors just went away. So I don't know how that happened, but Conjuring is just kind of dead in the HHN world right now. Maybe not for Hollywood.
I'm gonna say no on a Conjuring maze for several reasons. Well, since we said it was rumored to go in the Jurassic Park queue, and that was announced to be Halloween and stuff, it doesn't look like it's going to be anything in the backlot and stuff. And since, well, from what I've heard is that The Conjuring was actually supposed to happen, but then they actually got the rights to The Exorcist, and that got scrapped. And since Murdy's kind of a big diversity guy, back in 2013, he didn't do Cabin in the Woods because it had a cabin and it was in the woods, and he was doing Evil Dead, and that also had a cabin which was in the woods. So him doing The Exorcist, I don't think he's gonna do The Conjuring, since they're both very similar properties, and the kind of in the kind of horror they are, which is supernatural and possession and stuff. Since they're very similar, and he's a big diversity guy, I don't think he's going to do The Conjuring. It might come sometime down the line. That's definitely, I think, a maze that we're going to see in the next 5 years or so, but I don't think it's going to happen this year.
All right. I'm trying to look through a tweet right now. A few of his tweets. He talked about something, how he's been announcing a lot of classic monster, and not classic monster, classic horror, and he said, I wonder what will be next, which usually means to he probably is going to announce something next, which is totally different, which would definitely go along with Krampus or American Horror Story. Also, he's very particular about what he responds with, what tweets he responds to, which is why this tweet is really stands out to me. Someone asked him, will Christmas be coming early this year? Wink at Horror Nights. And he responded with, depends on what you want for Christmas. And, I mean, that's probably going to mean something, in my opinion.
Like, basing off that tweet, knowing how much of a carny he is, it's like people will see this tweet and immediately jump to the fact that he's saying, oh, he's saying Krampus is coming, he's saying Krampus is coming, but it says depends on what you want. So he's kind of like how I read it is that he's alluding to the fact that it's going to be something other than Christmas related to what he's announcing, which is why I believe still it's American Horror Story and stuff.
Well, not necessarily about the next upcoming maze, but it just said, will Christmas be coming early? And it wasn't really necessarily talking about the next announcement. So that's why I feel like he's kind of alluding to Krampus. And since Krampus is kind of getting obvious, I feel like he's going to really trick people and then maybe hold off that announcement for as long as he can until he starts Scenic on the front facade.
That would be a smart thing to do, actually. Like, just like keep people's attention away from it and stuff, and
Yeah.
just like keep releasing stuff, and then people will be like, "Wait, where's Krampus? Is this actually gonna happen?" and stuff. Which is kind of what happened with The Conjuring, which people were pretty much sure of it, and then they started announcing stuff, and The Conjuring didn't show up, and then people just kind of drifted away from The Conjuring. So I think that's what he might be doing, like keeping people's attention away from Krampus, until he eventually makes it shocking again that he announces it.
Which is another thing that, like, I mean, he'll never talk about his rights and everything and how he got the rights to certain properties and the timing of it and what properties were supposed to come until like years later. But if it was part of the strategy, and we can't really talk too much about it on this episode, but if our sources are to be believed, and we don't know if the sources are confirmed or anything, but there is another property that Orlando has announced that could possibly be coming to Hollywood, and if it was part of his strategy the entire time to not announce it along with Orlando, then, I mean, that's smart, or it could just be something where he just didn't get the rights in time for Orlando to announce it, so...
Yeah, I think what that basically is, it's that from what I've heard, is that this maze was originally not supposed to happen, but then he had something else in mind, and he eventually just kind of came back to this, and he said, "All right, I'll do it," and that's why it's happening this late in the game that he hasn't announced it, which is why at the point that Orlando made the announcement of their maze, we over here in Hollywood weren't originally gonna do that maze until just recently and stuff, so. I don't think it was anything like him trying to just like get people's attention away from him not making an announcement to make him think that this maze is not coming to Hollywood and stuff. I think it was just a matter of like when he got the rights and stuff and when he decided to do it.
It was definitely not a hugely rumored maze either.
Yeah, it's not really a maze property that you'd want to keep a secret and stuff. It's a maze that could just be announced and like you can get a reception since we've seen it in the past and stuff, so it's not something really shocking like The Exorcist and stuff that you want to keep people's attention away from and stuff.
Yeah. And I think another thing that we should like talk about, it's not on the topics, and before we move on to the next question, it's really surprising that Orlando and Hollywood are sharing so many properties. Like, I haven't seen this many properties shared for a while, so I don't know what's going on, but like every announcement, I mean, even though it's only 2 so far, like even just to have 2 properties that are shared, that's kind of a large amount.
Yeah, definitely. That's what happened in 2014, where we had basically most of our events shared with Orlando and stuff. They, of course, have a little bit more mazes than we do, and that's just basically originals. But all the IPs we're getting so far are IPs Orlando's getting, which really defeats the point of going to both events, in my opinion. I was originally going to go to Orlando to check out their event this year, but now I'm considering not going, considering that most of the stuff is the exact same properties, and I feel like that would be a waste of money to go over to Orlando and just see the same properties that we're seeing over here in Hollywood. But that's pretty much what happened in 2014. and stuff, which is kind of surprising considering Orlando got an icon this year again, and I feel like when they have icons, they usually go the more original route like they did last year, but I guess not, and we are actually sharing a lot of properties with them, which kind of sucks, honestly, because I wanted to go to Orlando.
Well, they are gonna have a lot of originals. I just don't. They're not announcing any yet, which is weird. They usually announce those like pretty spread out between IPs and originals, but they're just deciding to announce a whole bunch of IPs right now.
Well, pretty
Okay.
much. Like I think Orlando is gonna go with like three originals this year. If you think about it, we're sharing most everything else, and I believe Orlando has 9 houses this year, and they already announced one original maze, which was gonna be the Chance Maze and stuff. So they have like two more originals and stuff, and one of them supposedly gonna be like a remake or a sequel to some of the mazes that they had in the past. So who really knows about Orlando and stuff? But it is way too similar this year to Hollywood.
Yes. All right. So I'm going through. Why don't we have Gus read off some YouTube questions? Or
Alrighty then. One question we have is from HHN Dog. I enjoy your American Werewolf in London picture. Will we ever see Poltergeist at HHN? Which I have to reply with, I have no idea, but I would love to see that. I think it would be very cool. And I think there's a lot of iconic scenes that could be replicated into a maze, so I hope so.
it'd be hard to do, but like, I mean, again, Exorcist is kind of proving a lot to me. If they can do Exorcist, it's really making me rethink about all the mazes that they could possibly do. But Poltergeist just doesn't seem like something to me that would be possible. It just seems like it would be a lot of dummies and a lot of small things. But I mean, yeah, yeah, they could do it, possibly. It'd just be hard. That's what I'm saying.
I would like to see Poltergeist come to event and stuff, since it's also like a very classic stuff.
Hey,
Jose,
Jose, I don't know if
you're
you're
too far
covering.
away.
Yeah.
So, like Poltergeist, it's a classic. It has a lot of scenes that can be recreated and stuff. But I remember him a few years ago. He turned down Poltergeist by saying that since it has kind of like a lot of child actors in it, he would have to turn it down because it's really hard to cast child actors. But since he's doing The Exorcist and it also has a lot of child actors, I think he could do it sometime down the line. He passed on it. I believe it was last year when the remake came out. So. I'd say if we ever see another Poltergeist film down the line, I think we might see a maze. But if we don't see a film, I don't really think it's gonna happen.
I was surprised. It was kind of weird. I mean, just this is totally off topic, but I just thought about the Exorcist, that Exorcist TV show that's coming out, and I don't know if they kind of plan those along, like especially if Orlando is doing Texas Chainsaw and then Leatherface is coming out later. I I feel like they kind of plan those around each, and especially Alien Isolation was coming out the year that they announced AVP. So they say it has nothing to do with it, but they're obviously planning something, and they're obviously trying to advertise the property in general.
Yeah, it's always a matter of promotion. Like every time they do a maze, they have to find some way to promote it. That's why Murdy hasn't done certain mazes. Like he said he wants to do Trick or Treat, but he hasn't done Trick or Treat because Trick or Treat 2 hasn't come out. So there's really nothing to promote there. And the same thing with Hellraiser. He hasn't done Hellraiser since we haven't seen another Hellraiser. So he kind of wants something to promote. Like you said, they were promoting like Alien Isolation and stuff, and the 35th anniversary Blu-ray of Alien with AVP and stuff, and they're probably gonna promote the Exorcist television series and stuff, and they're gonna promote Leatherface for Texas Chainsaw over in Orlando and stuff. So it's really all that's all it is. It's all promotion and stuff. And speaking on this subject of promotion, American Horror Story, it usually comes out like around late October, I believe, like the season starts, but it's gonna start off kind of like in the middle of September this year when Horror Nights is starting. So if we actually end up getting it, that could be kind of a move on FX so they can kind of like co-promote each other, I would say.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, are we ready for the next YouTube question, or does anybody have any more comments?
Clarence, you're kind of quiet. You have any opinions?
On
Uh,
the
I don't know. What were you just
Wait,
like
what?
promotions?
No, I know
Promotions.
the promotions. No. I
Awesome.
don't know.
Great. Let's move on to the next question.
Okay, next YouTube question, and last from what I can tell, unless we get any more. Ultra Razor said, I want Slaughter World to come back. What do you think about Slaughter World? Personally, I think it was really cool. I never got to see it live, but I've seen many YouTube videos of it, and it looked very cool. I just do not think we might get it because we have the new Waterworld queue now, but I don't know exactly where that is. Uh, so yeah, I'd like to see it come back. I'm just not sure if it's possible this year.
It's expensive. Because they have to bring an outside company to do that show. If you guys didn't know, they have to bring out an outside company. They have to spend more money on pyrotechnics. They have to spend more money on actors. It's just a really expensive way to run a show during horror nights when they're already spending a lot of money, and it's people are getting way too offended. They got offended by Bill and Ted's, they got offended by Chucky, and then they got offended by Slaughter World. So I don't see it coming back, especially if we're gonna get a Waterworld maze.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool show. Like I've seen the videos and stuff, but I never really got to see it in person, which sucks. And I really want to see it in person, but like you guys basically covered it. It's not gonna happen. We have a new Waterworld maze location, so that just basically kills it. And like you said, it's gonna be something very expensive to do, and people will get offended by big boy words. And apparently, everybody that goes to Horror Nights is whiny little 12-year-olds that can't stand cuss words and stuff. So. Yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna see this show come back to Horror Nights, which pretty much sucks and stuff. And I could, like, unfortunately, probably say the same thing about Bill and Ted. It might not even come back anymore after people getting offended and stuff, which also really sucks. Like, you people
That
really need to get your shit together when you go to Horror Nights and stuff. It's like we warn you before you go into the actual event that you're gonna get offended, and you still decide to go through. And what honestly angers me most about this is that Universal actually caters to these people after having warned them and stuff, and just pretty much removes it and kills the fun for everybody.
yeah, and I can't say the same about Bill and Ted's though. I feel like because that's definitely the most requested thing to come back. Like everybody wants Bill and Ted's to come back. I feel like in the future we could get Bill and Ted's. Not this year, probably not next year, but it's something that Murdy would definitely be excited to bring back because he knows that everybody would be excited. It would also take a lot more wait time off of any other mazes and stuff because a lot of people want to see Bill and Ted. And while we're on the discussion of shows, what do you guys think about shows in both Orlando and Hollywood? Mostly Hollywood, but what do you think could be coming this year? There's been rumors of Jabberwockies, but then there's also rumors of Jabberwockies in Orlando.
I don't
Yeah,
like Jabberwockies at all.
I don't know, man. Like, sorry. I'm sorry, Gus.
Oh no, it's cool. I don't know. I just like to see just about anything else, really. Like Not Scary Farm has the hanging, and I always enjoy that. So I think something like that would be kind of nice. I just don't like Jabberwockies because Alvin, part of the squad that's not here, said kids are just going there trying to get through scare zones just to see the show, and it gets really annoying and flooded, and yeah.
yeah. From what a rumor I heard is that the Jabberwockies are actually performing in Orlando this year, which would thank God mean that they won't be in Hollywood this year. But regarding shows here in Hollywood this year, if the Jabberwockies don't come back, hopefully, if you guys remember last year when we had the after party, we had the Academy of Villains perform for 2 days. So I believe that could have been a test to see how popular they were to actually bring them as a full-fledged show this year at Hollywood. Or another thing that they could do is like possibly bring back Rocky Horror Picture Show since this year it's getting like a television remake and stuff. And since we were talking about promotion, that could be another thing they can promote and stuff.
Yeah. Yep, I got you. I don't really know. I mean, it's really. Whoa, someone is running outside that room. Um, it's really abstract. It's usually not something anybody can predict. I mean, if it's not a group, then it's an original, which we really can't predict. But until Murdy starts hinting at a show or anything, which he doesn't really hint much because it's not really his jurisdiction. He doesn't really care about it, so there's no way for us to predict it. All right, so any more questions on YouTube? Or anybody who wants to talk about shows anymore?
There are no more YouTube questions, so...
All right, so our last topic of the evening, if nobody else has anything else to discuss, we're going to talk about our squad updates. So, in 3 days, 2 days from starting tomorrow, but like
this Wednesday.
In a few hours, yeah, this Wednesday, we're going to be meeting up the squad. The full squad, excluding Gage, will be meeting up at Universal. We're going to go through The Walking Dead, get some reactions, and just shoot our first squad vlog.
Butterbeer and food challenges and stuff.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get there around later in the day, and we're definitely... Are all of you guys staying there for until closing?
Yeah.
I'm staying till closing.
Alright, so I'm assuming that Clarence, are you gonna stay till closing?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, since I won't be there till late, I'm definitely gonna be there for as long as I possibly can so I can hang out with you guys. But I don't know what you guys are going to be doing during the day, so I heard butterbeer challenges, I heard other things.
Minion ride 30 times.
Yeah, pretty much. And we definitely want to if you guys want to meet us and stuff, you guys want to hang out for a while and stuff, we're definitely open to doing that. Just if you're around the park, just let us, we'll be tweeting out where we're at and stuff, and we can walk through Walking Dead together and stuff, once or stuff, and we can meet you guys. It's always cool to meet you guys and stuff, so if you guys are in the park and you guys want to hang out or something, just let us know and stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. And it's going to be hard to stick through that entire day cuz honestly, Universal, if you really wanted to, you could get it done in a day, but you're just going to be riding a lot of rides over and over again.
We're also going to be vlogging, I think, and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll be filming construction and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be doing tram.
The Harry Potter world.
Which, by the way, we need to have a squad chat, a squad chat podcast as soon as possible, right after the Reviewing the Fear podcast this weekend, because I want to talk about Wizarding World. I just went there for the first time today, and I got a lot of things to say about it. So make sure all of you guys stay tuned for our different types of podcasts. Our Reviewing the Fear podcast coming really soon about The Walking Dead, and then maybe squad chats, maybe other podcasts, a whole bunch of other ones. I know Jose made a lot of other.
Yep, but yeah, hopefully we get to talk about Harry Potter World pretty soon, which is one of the best 16 park expansions ever. It's super detailed, it's super cool, and Forbidden Journey is just the best ride in the park in my opinion.
No, Jose, no. No, the Bug's Life. The Bug's Life is the best theme park attraction.
This is true.
We all know it's the Minion ride.
Fountains that you can jump into.
I don't know about you guys.
Heimlich's choo-choo train is.
But when I get into the Bug's Life, I feel like I'm in the movie.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna Oh boy. All right. Before we all explode into our microphones, I want to say thank you guys for watching episode 3 of Updating the Fear. If you guys are in the parks on the 13th, make sure to come by and say hi. We're going to be down there, and we're going to be updating, and we're going to be doing our squad vlogs, and it's going to be fun. And so, yeah, thank you guys for watching this episode once again. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at HHN Squad. We're working on getting some other social media sites and possibly a website very soon. So we'll update you on all of that. So follow us on HHN Squad, and tweet us your questions, tweet us your updates, everything you possibly can. So tune in the next time on Updating the Fear podcast. Once again, we have HHN Meatloaf. We have Clarence from Nubnuts, and Jose from Thrill Seeker Network, and I'm Casey from the PMV Productions. Any last words, Jose?
Yep, you guys can find us on the 13th. We'll be at the Minion Ride most of the time, but I mean, like, we'll be doing Walking Dead sometimes too, but mostly in the Minion Ride. So if you guys want to look for us, just make sure you're by the Minion Ride and stuff.
We're going to be on the floor. Actually, we're going to be on the trash can right next to the Minion Ride, barfing up butterbeer.
Pretty much,
yeah. It's going to be fun. Awesome. I'll see you guys then, and make sure to, social media, I already talked about that. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.